Did you know that if you use Tella to record your YouTube videos, you have tools directly in Tella that will help you create your YouTube titles and descriptions? And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. If you've never used Tella and you're curious to learn more, you will find a link below this video to my Tella tutorial where I give you an entire overview of how Tella works and a link to get 30% off your first year. If you're new here, my name is Shannah and I am a Squarespace web designer in New York City. I create websites and website templates for service-based solopreneurs and people doing good work in the world. Now let's dive in. So I'm here in Tella in a video that I have already recorded and edited, and I want to create some YouTube titles and descriptions for this video. Now you'll notice here that if you have your settings turned on, and I'll show you those in a minute, Tella will automatically generate a high-level description of your video for you and some chapters. Now, this high-level description is probably not exactly what we need for YouTube, but there is another tool that we can use called the document generation tool, where we can add a prompt and Tella will create a YouTube-specific video for us. Now, if you don't see this document generation tool here, then we're going to have to go into our settings and make sure it's turned on. So let me go to these three dots up here, go to Viewer Settings, and you want to scroll down and make sure that this document generation tool is toggled on. This document generation tool is brand new in 2026, and it is turned on for all the new videos you've created, but on your older videos, it might be turned off. So if you're going into older videos to try to create YouTube titles and descriptions, you might need to toggle this on. And now let me quickly just show you those account settings while we're talking about settings. Over here under the Tella icon, we click here to go to your account settings, go to preferences. Right here at the top are your settings to make sure that Tella is automatically generating chapters, titles, and descriptions for your videos. Again, these are the titles that are going to show up in Tella. They may not be YouTube specific. And then down here, there's a setting to make sure that your new videos have this document generation feature turned on. So if you didn't want to use document generation, you could turn it off. But the whole point of this video is to use this tool. So we're going to turn that on. So those are your account settings. Let's hop back to this video we're going to work with here. And we are back in our document generation tool. So in this tool, we can enter a prompt in this box here. There are also some default prompts here. So if I clicked one of these buttons, it would pop a default prompt in there for us, but we don't have any default prompts currently for YouTube titles and descriptions. Hopefully they will show up in the future, but in the meantime, I have created some prompts that I will include in a blog post below this video that you can paste in here to generate your YouTube titles and descriptions. So let's hop over here and I'll show you these prompts. To create titles, I have a very simple prompt that says create an engaging title between 40 to 60 characters long that naturally includes this keyword. And I have chosen this keyword for this video. I am going to copy and paste this prompt over here into my document generation tool. I click this little arrow here to start generating. And now I have some YouTube title ideas for my video. You might like these, you might want to regenerate them, you might want to edit them, but these are some ideas to start with. I'm going to click this copy button here, and I like to collect all my stuff in one place before I paste it into YouTube. I happen to use Notion for that. I have a database that includes an entry for all of my YouTube ideas. And I have a template that includes all the basics that I need to gather for my video, and I can just paste these things in here. So here in my title ideas area, I'm going to paste in those title ideas. And now let's go back to my prompts and look at the prompt that I used for my description. So I'm going to ask Tella to create a description for this video for YouTube in the first person, so it knows that this is a YouTube type description. We're going to start with an attention-grabbing sentence that naturally incorporates my primary keyword. We're going to have a concise but comprehensive summary of the video with 2 to 3 sentences. We're going to include some secondary keywords that I have chosen. Then I'm going to ask it to include a placeholder for any links that I mention in the video to blog posts, related videos, or other resources. Then I'm going to ask it to just have a placeholder where I am later going to paste in the chapters. You can include in this prompt for Tella to add the chapters with timestamps here, but I like to use Tella to tweak and refine my chapters. So I'm going to paste those in later. So in this prompt, I just leave a placeholder so I don't forget to put it in there. And then at the end, I'm going to ask Tella to create some relevant hashtags and YouTube tags that I'm going to include in this video. If you'd like to tweak these prompts or do some research to create prompts you like better, go for it. But if you'd like to use mine, you can grab them again in the blog post below this video. So I'm going to copy my prompt here. I'm going to go back to Tella, close out of this. I'm going to paste this prompt in here and click my arrow to start generating. All right, and now I've got a YouTube description that has an engaging first sentence with my keyword in it. Then I've got a description of what the video is about. I've got the resources that I mentioned in the video, so I can add those links. I've got a placeholder for my chapters, my hashtags, and my YouTube tags. Again, I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to go post this into my little Notion area. And then I can tweak it however I would like to make it better. I could also go back and have it generate something else if I want to try it again. I have some emojis in my little template here because I like to use emojis in my descriptions and then I don't have to go find them. So for example, here I might copy this little emoji. You can't use bullet points in your YouTube descriptions. So I would replace these bullet points with an emoji, and later I would add those links in there. And then I've got my hashtags. Now your YouTube tags don't go in your description. They go in a separate place in YouTube. So I would remove these here, and I have a little place in my template for tags. I have pre-populated that with some common tags that I include in my videos. And I just move these down here, and I could tweak this and make sure I've got the right tags for my videos later. So let's hop back over to Tella, and I will show you how to create your chapters. So here in view mode, if you click here on this chapter bookmark and you scroll down here, you can edit your chapters. If I just move my mouse over here, I see I can edit my chapters. Now you can regenerate your chapters, which you definitely want to do if you've made any edits to your video. You want to make sure your chapters are aligned with the latest version of your video. You can edit the names of the chapters. So for example, I just want to call this intro. Then you have descriptions that go with each chapter, and these show up here when someone is viewing your video in Tella. They will see these descriptions, but we're not going to copy those over for YouTube, so you don't have to worry about them too much. You can clear them out if you want, or you can just leave them there. As you're going through your chapters, they may be too detailed. You may want to remove a chapter using this little delete button here. You can also insert chapters with this plus sign, so you can add a new chapter. And then what you definitely want to do is click on each of these chapters and make sure that where they end up in the video is exactly where you want it to be. It does a pretty good job, but if you needed to, you could go into edit and tweak these seconds to maybe make it a 1 second later, 1 second earlier. And you can go through and edit all of your chapters and get them exactly the way you want them to be. And when you are done, you can click these 3 dots here and click copy for YouTube. This is going to copy your chapters in the exact format that you need them to be for YouTube. So I'm going to click copy. I'm going to hop back over here to my Notion document. I'm going to delete that placeholder, and then I'm going to place in my chapters. So now I've got everything I need to copy into YouTube. I've got some ideas for my YouTube titles. I've got my description, my hashtag, and my tags. And I think it's great that this is all built right into Tella where I'm actually recording my videos. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If so, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel below so more people can find my content.